I'm shaping this around Annie Duke's core decision-making framework, then translating it into a high-energy YouTube talk that feels more like a keynote than book report. Annie Duke is a former professional poker player turned decision strategist, and Thinking in Bets argues that better decisions come from getting comfortable with uncertainty, separating decision quality from outcome quality, and asking what choice has the best odds instead of chasing certainty. The book's central frame is that life is more like poker than chess. You rarely have all the information, luck always plays a role, and resulting makes people judge decisions too much by how they turned out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are talking about one of the most powerful mental models you can put into your life, your business, your money, your relationships, and your future. And that is Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke. Now let me tell you why this matters. Most people are not losing because they are lazy. Most people are not losing because they are unintelligent. Most people are losing because they keep making decisions emotionally, then judging those decisions by outcomes they never fully controlled. That is the trap. And Annie Duke comes in with a brutal, liberating, powerful truth. Life is not chess. Life is poker. Chess is clean. Chess is visible. Chess gives you all the information on the board. But life? Life gives you incomplete information. Life gives you hidden variables. Life gives you emotion, timing, luck, pressure, noise, other people's choices, and uncertainty. So if you keep expecting life to behave like chess, you're going to keep feeling betrayed. This is the shift. Great decision-making is not about being right every time. It is about making the best possible bet with the information you have right now. That is a game-changing idea. Because a bad outcome does not always mean you made a bad decision. And a good outcome does not always mean you made a smart one. Let that sink in. Some of you are rewarding sloppy thinking because it happened to work once. Some of you are punishing yourself for a courageous, intelligent move that simply didn't work out this time. That right there is what Annie Duke calls the mistake so many people make. They confuse the result with the quality of the decision. And if you do that long enough, you train yourself into fear. You stop taking bold action. You stop trusting process. You become addicted to hindsight. You become reactive instead of strategic. And that is not how winners live. Winners understand this. You can make the right move and still lose. You can make the wrong move and still win. The question is not, did it work? The question is, was it a high-quality decision? That is how grown decision makers think. So let's break this down. 1. Stop asking, was I right? Start asking, what were the odds? This is one of the biggest mindset upgrades from the book. Most people think in absolutes. Is this the right choice? Will this work? Is this person the one? Is this business guaranteed? Is this investment safe? But that is not how reality works. Reality works in probabilities. That is power. Because when you stop demanding certainty, you start developing judgment. And judgment is everything. In business, judgment matters. In investing, judgment matters. In dating, judgment matters. In health, judgment matters. In leadership, judgment matters. Your life is the sum of the bets you keep making. So make better bets. 1. Stop being addicted to certainty. Because certainty is seductive, but it can make you stupid. Let's be real. People love sounding certain. People love saying, I know. People love declaring, predicting, posting, bragging. But certainty often feels better than it performs. And Annie Duke's work pushes you toward intellectual honesty. Sometimes the strongest thing you can say is, I'm not 100% sure, but based on what I know, this is the best move. That is not weakness. That is calibrated confidence. That is mature confidence. That is the kind of confidence that can adapt. Because when new information shows up, ego says, defend the old position. Wisdom says, update the bet. Some people stay in bad careers because they want to prove they were right. Some people stay in bad relationships because they don't want to admit the first bet was wrong. Some people keep doubling down on bad habits because their identity is tied to the story. But winners do not worship the past. They update. They pivot. They adjust. They stay flexible enough to move with truth. That is not quitting on yourself. That is respecting reality. 1. Separate luck from skill. This part is huge because if you don't separate luck from skill, you will misread your whole life. You might have gotten lucky once and mistaken it for genius. You might have had one painful loss and mistaken it for incompetence. Both are dangerous. A lucky win can inflate your ego. An unlucky loss can crush your confidence. That is why smart people review the process, not just the result. That is how you grow. Not by emotionally reacting to outcomes, by studying your own decision-making. This is the real flex. Not I won, but I know why I won. Or even better, I know why I lost, and I'm becoming better because of it. 1. Build a truth-telling circle. One of the smartest takeaways from Annie Duke's work is that decision-making improves when you surround yourself with people who care more about truth than ego. That means you need people around you who can challenge your thinking without tearing down your identity. Not yes men, not hype-only friends, not people who clap for every impulsive move. You need truth tellers. That is gold. Because bad decisions love isolation. Bad decisions grow in environments where nobody questions the story. But high performers build circles where ideas get pressure tested. That is why masterminds matter. That is why mentors matter. That is why honest teams matter. You want a life upgrade? Upgrade the quality of feedback around your decisions. 1. Make peace with being wrong. This is where freedom lives. A lot of people are not actually trying to make the best decisions. They are trying to protect their identity. They want to look smart. They want to avoid embarrassment. They want to feel in control. So instead of learning, they defend. Instead of adjusting, they rationalize. Instead of growing, they posture. But Annie Duke's framework pushes you to a different standard. Your job is not to be right. Your job is to get closer to truth. That is a massive difference. Because when you stop making every decision a referendum on your worth, you become more powerful. You listen better. You adapt faster. You recover quicker. You learn more. And that's how you start compounding intelligence. Not by pretending to know everything, but by getting better at updating. 1. The real win is long-term decision quality. This is the final lesson. Thinking in bets is not about winning every hand. It is about becoming the kind of person who makes strong bets over and over and over again. That is the game. A powerful life is built on consistent, high-quality decisions. Not perfection, not certainty, not control. With stationary on-screen list text. That is how you build wealth. That is how you build a brand. That is how you build trust. That is how you build self-respect. So here is the challenge. The next time you face a decision, don't ask, "Can I be sure?" Ask, "What is the smartest bet I can make with what I know right now?" And once you make it, own it. Learn from it. refine it, repeat it. Because the people who win big in life are not the ones waiting for perfect clarity. They are the ones who can move intelligently through uncertainty. That is the power of thinking in bets. And honestly, that is one of the most important skills you can build in this era. Because the future belongs to people who can think clearly when the facts are incomplete, the pressure is real, and the outcome is unknown. Make smarter bets. Trust the process. Update without ego, and play the long game. If this hit home, drop a comment. What is one area of your life where you need to stop chasing certainty and start making smarter bets?